While everyone's talking about Charlie Curnow, there's a forward the Swans are hiding in plain sight. And when he steps back onto the SCG, the whole competition is going to remember exactly why they should have been paying attention. G'day Swans fans, if you love the club like I do, hit that subscribe button, because what I'm about to tell you is going to change how you see our 2026 campaign. Let's dive in. Logan McDonald, remember that name? Because while the footy world has been obsessing over our blockbuster trade for Charlie Curnow, they've completely forgotten about the weapon we already had. And according to Errol Goulden, that's exactly how the Swans want to keep it. There hasn't been much spoken about him, but I'm pretty happy to keep it that way because he'll be a bit of a secret weapon for us, Goulden told media this week. And when one of the best midfielders in the competition is that confident about a forward's return, you need to listen. This isn't just about a player coming back from injury. This is about a forward who kicked 37 goals in our runner-up season being completely overlooked because he missed 2025. While the media's been busy writing headlines about Curnow, Logan's been quietly preparing to remind everyone exactly what he can do. And with Charlie drawing the best defenders, McDonald might be about to have the most dangerous season of his career. But to understand why this return is so massive for the Swans, we need to go back to where it all went wrong. Cast your mind back to mid-2024. The Swans had just locked down their future, securing Logan McDonald on a 4-year contract extension. The 23-year-old was coming off a brilliant season, slotting 37 goals as part of a forward line that helped carry Sydney all the way to the grand final. He wasn't just another tall forward. He had the footy brain, the work rate, and that rare ability to impact games even when the ball wasn't coming his way. Everything was set. McDonald was entering his prime years, the Swans had secured their key forward for the long term, and the 2025 season was supposed to be when he took the next step, when he became that genuinely elite forward the club had been developing. Then came the injury, a serious ankle problem that essentially wiped out his entire 2025 campaign. One moment, he's a crucial part of Sydney's premiership puzzle. The next, he's watching from the sidelines as the season unfolds without him. For a player who works as hard at his craft as McDonald does, who's known around the club for his dedication and his football IQ, being forced to sit out must have been torture. And here's what made it even tougher. The Swans struggled without him. That forward line that looked so potent in 2024 suddenly lacked that key target, that player who could stretch defences and create space for others. You could see it throughout 2025. The balance wasn't quite right, the connection between the midfield and forward line wasn't as seamless, but while McDonald was sidelined, the football world moved on. The focus shifted. Trade period arrived, and suddenly all anyone wanted to talk about was Charlie Curnow's massive move to Sydney, the acquisition of the off-season, a genuine superstar forward coming to the Harbour City. And fair enough, it's a huge story. But in all that noise, in all those headlines about Curnow, something was forgotten. Logan McDonald was coming back. Behind the scenes at the Swans, they haven't forgotten, not for a second. The coaches have been planning for it, the midfielders have been thinking about it, and as pre-season ramped up and McDonald returned to full training, something became very clear to everyone inside the club. He's flying. Absolutely flying. This is where it gets interesting, because what's happening right now at Swans training isn't just about one player returning from injury. It's about the emergence of something the competition isn't ready for. Picture this. You're an opposition defender preparing to face Sydney in 2026. You know Charlie Curnow is there now. You know he's going to be the focus. He's the big name, the player who's going to draw the best defender every single week. That's your job sorted. Stop Curnow, limit the damage, live to fight another day. But then Logan McDonald runs past you, 40 metres out, leading into space. And suddenly you realise the problem. We're hopefully going to have a 4-headed monster down there with the forwards we've got, Goulden said. I'm assuming most weeks Charlie will have the opposition's best defender on him, so I think that'll do wonders for the other forwards. Do wonders? Think about what that means. Logan McDonald, a forward who kicked 37 goals in a grand final season, is now going to be the second or third defender's problem. He's going to have more space, more opportunities, and less attention than he's ever had in his career. And he's been working on his craft all pre-season, getting his body right, getting his mind right, preparing for this exact moment.
Gordon isn't just confident, he's bullish. Logan's been flying, he told the media. He works really hard at his craft and has an amazing footy brain, so I'm really bullish about what he can achieve next season. Amazing footy brain. That's not just praise, that's recognition of something special. In modern footy, you can have all the physical tools in the world, but if you don't have that football intelligence, that ability to read the play and position yourself perfectly, you're limited. McDonald has it. Always has. And now he's got something else. He's got Charlie Kinnear creating chaos in the forward line with him. Kinnear is similar to Lance in the sense that he's a massive presence, Gordon explained. Seeing him come out of the square is pretty good, but as I said, the work he's been able to do for the other forwards as well is great. Similar to Lance Franklin, the forward who changed everything for Sydney when he arrived. The forward whose mere presence on the field made everyone around him better because defenders couldn't leave him alone, couldn't risk it. That's what Kinnear brings. And that's what's going to make Logan McDonald so dangerous. The beautiful thing about this story is how quietly it's been developing. While the footy media has been churning out article after article about Kinnear's impact, about what he means for Sydney's 2026 campaign, the Swans have been watching Logan McDonald's progression with growing excitement. And they've been smart about it. When Gordon was asked about McDonald this week, you could hear the satisfaction in his response. There hasn't been much spoken about him, but I'm pretty happy to keep it that way. He's happy opposition clubs aren't paying attention. Happy the narrative is all about Kinnear. Because come round one, when Sydney runs out onto the SCG against Carlton, they're going to have a card to play that nobody's properly prepared for. The connection between Kinnear and the midfield has already started forming. He makes our role as midfielders easier, Gordon said. He's come to us and given us a clearer picture of what he wants, where he wants the ball to go, and how he wants us to deliver the ball inside 50 to him. That communication, that clarity, it's the kind of thing that takes some players years to develop. But Kinnear's bringing it immediately, and it's not just benefiting him. Every forward in that line is going to profit from having a key forward who can articulate exactly what he needs from the midfield. And McDonald? He's been soaking it all in, working with Kinnear, learning how to play off him, understanding how to exploit the space that Kinnear's presence creates. The Swans are building something special here, and the scary part for the rest of the competition is that it's all happening before anyone's really noticed. One more thing that hasn't been talked about enough, the Swans have the 8th easiest fixture in 2026. 8th easiest. With Kinnear and McDonald both fit and firing, with a midfield led by Gordon feeding them the ball, and with an easier run than most clubs, everything is lining up for Sydney to make serious noise this year. This reminds me of something. When Lance Franklin arrived at Sydney back in 2014, everyone knew he was going to be a game changer. What people underestimated was how much he'd elevate the players around him. Kurt Tippett suddenly had more space. The small forwards had more opportunities. The entire structure of the forward line changed because you simply couldn't ignore Buddy. We're about to see that again. But this time, it's Logan McDonald who's going to benefit most. A forward who was already good enough to kick 37 goals is now going to have the best defender going to someone else every week. He's going to have more one-on-one contests, more leads into space, more chances to showcase that footy brain Gordon keeps talking about. And here's the thing that should worry every other club. McDonald missed an entire year. That means he's fresh. His body's had time to heal completely. He's not carrying the wear and tear of a full season. He's motivated, he's hungry, and he's got a point to prove. The Swans' return to finals footy in 2026 isn't just about Charlie Kinnear. It's about having a four-headed monster in the forward line that the competition isn't ready for. It's about having Logan McDonald emerge as the player everyone forgot to worry about while they were busy watching the big-name recruit. Come round one against Carlton, against Kinnear's old club, the footy world is going to get their first proper look at what Sydney's cooked up. And something tells me Logan McDonald is going to make sure nobody forgets his name again. At the end of the day, this is what being a Swans fan's all about. It's not just about the big splashy trades and the headlines, it's about backing the boys who've been there, who've put in the work, who've waited for their moment. Logan McDonald's time is coming, and when it arrives, when he's kicking goals and creating havoc alongside Kerner, we're all going to remember why we believed in him from the start. Let me know in the comments, how many goals do you think Logan kicks in 2026? Hit like if you're backing the Bloods no matter what, and I'll see you in the next one. Up the Swans.